Leping and Elizabeth decide to help them. One of the wives pulls out a crystal ball, and Shaji explains to everyone that this crystal ball will measure magical power just by putting a hand on it. Leping wonders what the numbers on the ball are, and it turns out that the ball measures magical power in numbers. Shaji says that he is a 4-star spirit level holder, and his wives are 4 or 5-star archmages. And since they're going to cooperate, everyone should get to know each other better. The first to get a hand in is an orphan girl named Anya. Her level turns out to be only 300. The protagonist also decides to try, and with all confidence puts his hand on the ball, but it shows a total 0. Shaji is surprised, as even masters of the arts have higher levels. Elizabeth places her hand, and the crystal ball begins to shimmer furiously. However, if everyone finds out that Elizabeth is the demon queen, many questions will arise, causing a huge conflict. Elizabeth decides to play along, and the level shows the same level as the centaur. The girls wonder how she can be a 4-star mage. Shaji is pleasantly surprised and assures that with such power their chances of success will be much higher. Anya wonders how they can get into the dungeon. Gaili, one of the wives, uses a teleportation scroll and teleports everyone present. They end up in an ice cave. Shaji pushes the protagonist to the side and offers Elizabeth her help to get up. But Elizabeth approaches Lepin, asking him to keep going where they need to go. The centaur gets angry. As they continue walking, they come across 8 different passages. One of the wives asks if they should split up to find the entrance, but the centaur assures them that there is no need and tells Gaili to use his skill of finding the right path called magic net, which allows them to instantly find the shortest path to the treasure. Elizabeth thinks this is arrogance. Gaili fails and falls on one foot. She says that she used all her powers alone. The maze has no edge, and that she used all her powers to discover but found nothing. One Devilis already knows the way through, but won't tell because people won't get out if they look for the end. Leping wonders why Elizabeth won't help them. Suddenly, the orphan girl says that the 3rd entrance to the cave is the real one, for it is where the magic comes from the most. One of the wives rebels and says that the right way is through the last one, but Orphan does not agree and shows her toy, which went through this entrance and was torn apart. The heroes decide to go their separate ways, and Elizabeth and the protagonist go to the entrance. One of the centaur's wives asks if she should make a clone to get the information. The centaur replies that it is not necessary and that Elizabeth's past holds many secrets. Everyone else decides to follow them. The heroes run into a lot of monsters. One of the wives holds the demoness guilty as she chose this monster-infested path. But Elizabeth replies that Gaili should feel where the most magic is, since she is a mage. But at that moment, a centaur appears and asks everyone to calm down and drink an elven potion to recover. The heroes set up a dock. Leping wants to taste the elven potion since he's never used it before, and that maybe it's the one that will inspire him. An elf named Gloria taunts Elizabeth, saying that such a strong demoness doesn't need the potion. The demoness does not react and gives the potion to Lepin. The protagonist tries it and is disappointed, to which Gloria gets angry and Elizabeth decides to pour the potion out. The protagonist pulls out fruit from his backpack grown by himself and shares it with the others. At first, they underestimate the fruit, and some even throw them away. But those who have tasted are in for an incredible treat. They're transported to a world of pleasure where they party and sing songs. They are taken by surprise by others, and the characters are brought back to reality. Suddenly, the heroes notice that their magic levels are gradually increasing. Elizabeth thinks that Lupin knows they are going to die, and so he raised their levels beforehand so that this game can continue. The centaur asks Lupin what the origin of this fruit is that he gave them. Lupin explains that he grew them with a hybrid method. Only in this world can he use such a productive method. The others decide to eat the fruit too, but the fruit turns out to be rotten. Anya notices that there has been a synchronization and explains that special treasures must be used under special conditions. Suddenly, one of the wives gets angry and tells the girl not to pretend to know what she doesn't know, and that she saw Elizabeth eating the same banana with her own eyes, demanding an explanation. The centaur asks the protagonist to share the fruit, but Elizabeth snatches the bag and says she's going to eat the contents a little later. Lupin apologizes, and the centaur asks him and Elizabeth to go ahead, and he and his wives to join later. The wives suggest that he steal the fruit, but the centaur says that the time is not yet right, and explains that ordinary people would not just carry something of value. And he suspects that Elizabeth is not just a princess from some tribe. The kingdom of Aristotle has offered a huge reward for information about the missing princess, and the centaur finds out that it is her, and if he can make Elizabeth his wife, he'll get more than magic fruit. He decides to use his secret weapon, namely the spell of enchantment with which he has won all his wives.